Welcome to the Daily B with MATY.B. Woo! Episode 13 with Craig Cassidy. We got on today. We're going to talk about a few different things. He's a coach just like myself, and yeah, helping guys and girls all around Australia just get more out of their life, out of their business, out of whatever they're doing. Just had a bit of trouble trying to get him onto the last one, so hopefully it'll work this time. Hey, buddy. All right, can you see the invite? Because I invited you before I even started the video. Hey, Trev, how are you, buddy? So, Craig, your name doesn't have an ad next to it as well, so I think there's something with that. If you're on your computer, can you try your phone, see if that comes up? But if you can't see it... Yeah. Good, mate. Good. Good to hear, Trev. Long time no see, bro. All right. Beauties have gone live. I think it's something to do with the fact that you're on laptop. I'll try my phone. Yeah, try your phone, bro. Got a little sneaky suspicion that might solve the dilemma. What's everyone up to? Any questions, any stories, any goss, any exciting news? Trev, Kylie, what's been happening? Aha, there we go. Here we go. Adding, boom. Yeah, I think you need to accept it as well, maybe.
MATY.B.
My main man.
We are finally here. Give me 2 seconds. I've still got you on a computer screen, so I'm going to get rid of that.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
We're going to echo, and I'm going to set my phone up. I thought I was being real tech savvy using the laptop instead of the phone, but it has failed me.
Yeah, that's all good. We're living with that. I wasn't sure. I hear myself talking. What did you just unplug then?
No, we're in.
With your phone.
All right. Let's set up. Can you hear me?
Yeah, but I can also hear an echo of myself. You changed one of the sound settings.
All right. Give me 2 seconds. Let's go again. How's that?
Maybe good. I can still hear myself.
It's horrible when you can hear yourself, isn't it?
Yeah.
How's that?
I can still hear myself. What was the sound difference that you made out of your computer onto your phone?
Earphones.
The earphones. Yeah. It's something about the input. One of the guys the other day he did something about the input, like one of the options.
All right. Let's... What if I take these out? Can you hear now?
I can. Still hear myself.
Whoever's watching, apologies. This is not a tech expert.
Part of the beauty of the go lives.
It is. All right. What's that?
So I didn't actually. I should have asked him. Yeah, it was something to do with the settings that he changed, the audio settings.
On his actual phone?
Yeah.
Quiet mode turned on.
Hello. I'm still here.
Still hear you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And don't
And
stress.
don't stress. This has happened about 4 times already.
That was pictures from Tatham, my little boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful.
Man, give me 2 seconds. I'm going to tune.
Like, pat his face. Yeah. Try earphone guy if you have them. Yeah, he already tried the earphones. That's what ruined it, I think. Ramona. It's like, oh, I fucking even know. It's something about the settings. It's ridiculous. I really need to ask. Promise this will be the last time this happens. Fuck. Just left us. Good times. Dead air. You gotta love it, don't you? This is called doing your apprenticeship. It happened to me multiple times. Yeah, did you figure it out, Ramona? Did you figure out what the setting was that needed to change? Boom. Bloody bugs. Here he comes. This bird's too noisy. They're right. Hey.
How we going? We got it?
Spot on,
better?
bro.
Perfect. See that?
What,
Whiz.
now,
Tech whiz.
what did you do?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
You don't even know what you did.
I don't know. I just went off and plugged the earphones back in. So I don't know. It was the universe. We're here.
Fuck,
We are here.
So there's a what is it called? A retrograde. You know how I spoke to you the other day about the retrograde from last month?
Yeah.
I was fucking everyone's relationship up.
Yeah, yes.
Well, this month there's another one that started that's fucking everyone's technology up.
I'm getting hit with everything. Let's not go there. Let's not go there.
Yeah, bro. We're in it together, man.
Yes.
Fuck it.
Yes.
All
It's
right,
real.
cool.
It's about being real, right?
Yeah, man.
That's what these lives are about. So, mate, how have you been?
That's it. Yeah, really good, bro. Really good. I've just been down in the countryside here, hanging out with the folks and catching up with a few old mates that I haven't seen for a while. So I've been here since basically the start of the month. So almost a month. I'll be here for a bit over a month when I get back on the 4th next week. But yeah, just sort of taking some Zen time to chill, relaxing, filling the cup with the relationship with the friends and family down here, and about to come back up soon and start.
Brother, it sounds good. I'm definitely jealous. The sunshine. I'm jealous of that backdrop. I feel
nice.
I feel like I should have stepped it up.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah,
That's your parents' place, yeah?
They used to be our cubby house, but it's the chicken coop now.
Very cool.
This is
Very cool.
This is the big mud brick house that we grew up in. Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, nice.
And there's a pool down there that me and my brother had to dig out by hand. Fuck me.
There's that transition to manhood. One of them. Resilience.
Yes, man. That's it, 100%. So, mate, just for those that don't know you, let us know a little bit about who you are, where you're from, what you're doing, and so they can get.
Who am I? Where am I from? I'm Craig Cassidy. I'm from the Gold Coast. I live on the Gold Coast now. I've been here for about 9 years. Beautiful place to live on this earth. Very grateful for being here. I coach men mainly. I market to men. This day and age, we have to have niches. So I coach women as well. I've got probably just as many women clients as I do men, but I more target men. And basically I coach people how to be better men, how to have better relationships, better businesses, better relationships to self, how to improve their mindset, how to be a better man. And I guess that all started from, if we're going into that.
Yes, please do.
My childhood. So I grew up, I had a bit of a rough childhood. I won't go into the long version of it, but I grew up not knowing who I was as a young boy, feeling lost, feeling alone, not having the male role model, I guess, that at the time, not having the male role model that I thought other kids had. The reality is, this day and age, a lot of young boys grow up without that male role model, not because they're not there, but because they're not there. Not because they're physically not there, but because men just aren't men these days the way that they traditionally were. So I grew up without the male role model that I felt I needed, and I didn't have that direction in life. So that leading to a lot of self-destructive bad habits, leading to depression at a young age, being out of home around, this is the very quick abbreviated version for you guys. So out of home at 14 on my own. So you could call it homeless, I guess. And not having a clue where I was in the world or what I wanted to do or where I wanted to be. And on more than a few occasions deciding that this world wasn't for me and that I wanted to leave this world. And attempting that on more than a few occasions and being too scared to tell anybody, too scared to talk to anybody, and too scared to speak up. So going through that on my own, by the time I turned 18, I started to find my way a little bit. I found extreme sports. I got into bull riding, which to me at the time felt very masculine, and I didn't know it at the time, but now looking back, that was me searching for masculinity. I found the manliest sport I could find and the manliest men I could find, and I surrounded myself with it, and I got validation through doing well at that sport. So essentially I put a mask on to hide all the pain and the hurt and the trauma and the little lost boy, and I put this mask on of being a strong, tough man, a cowboy at the time. Yep. Far from a cowboy in reality, but that's the path I went down. When I was about 18, I found a book by Tony Robbins, Awaken the Giant Within, and that's when it all changed. That's when I learnt that we create our own destiny. That's when I learnt that our thoughts create our reality. That's when I learnt that we aren't a product of our past, we're a product of our thoughts and our own actions. And that's where I learned to take ownership for where I was, instead of clinging hold of a story about the way I got to where I was and about why I was where I was and about why I couldn't have that which I seen other people having. And what I learnt, not right there in that moment, but over years, was that I needed to let go of that story. I needed to open my hand to the things that I was resisting and allow to flow what was to come. That took many years to get there, but yeah, and that all culminated, I guess, in me deciding that I wanted to help kids, young boys, not to have to go through what I went through on their own, which transitioned into 15 years on, coaching men, basically to be better men, and essentially to create better fathers, so that we have kids that have solid male role models, masculine role models, which is much needed in this day and age. So absolutely, that's essentially what brought me to where I am now. And now I coach men to be better men, to have better relationships with their partners, with themselves, better health, well-being, spiritually, mentally, physically. And essentially that's what I do. More confidence,
That's fantastic. And it's sort of like hitting the nail right down where it all starts as well, with helping the men and the fathers become better fathers, so that they can imprint that and instill that in their kids as well. So you're sort of just starting fresh, getting them right down and completely changing sort of the education of the kids that they're getting and how they're brought up, which is, I can relate completely as well. I know a lot of other lads out there, and women as well, can relate to, not having that role model of a father, or even sometimes a mother in that sense as well. I guess with respect to that transition and finding out from that book and going on that journey of understanding that you are the creator of all of this, what are some of the steps that you give to fathers bringing up their children and being a better father figure and helping them transition from boyhood to manhood?
I guess I work with not just fathers, I work with men obviously as well. Sorry, I'm freezing. I'm just turning the air conditioner down. I work with men as well, and I guess it's the same process for a father to be a better father and a man to be a better man, and it's to define who you are. It's to define who you are, who you want to be, not based on the perceptions of limitations that you have based on your past, based on the reality that, and this is one of the pillars that I work with my clients, which is helping them to transition from that mindset of that fixed mindset to that growth mindset, that we can be and do whatever we choose, and we all have the same ability to learn. If another human's done it, then we can do it. So to become a better father and a better man, it's about defining what that means to you. It's about defining so masculinity in and of itself is, to generalize, I guess, is being confident in who you are, being confident in who you are and not having to hide who you are or pretend to be something that you're not, because that's what society said that you should do, because that's what your peers or the influence around you says that you should do. So it's about, and the advice I would give to my clients is define who it is that you want to be. Define who you want to show up as today and step into that today. So one of the things I work through with them in defining that is write a script for your life. Who do you want to show up as a partner? Who do you want to show up as a father, as a work colleague, as a friend, as a mentor? Who do you want to show up as in this life? And what does that look like to you? And if you don't know how to do that, then who are the men that you look up to? Who are the men in this world that you look up to? What mentors can you reach out to? How do they walk? How do they talk? How do they carry themselves? How do they react? Do they react or do they respond? Learning to respond instead of reacting to that around you, and knowing who you are. That's the best thing you can do as a man to show up as the best possible version of you for your partner, for your kids, for everything else. That's if you want more confidence in life. If you want to meet a beautiful woman, get more confidence. Women are attracted to confidence. Women love masculinity. What they love about masculinity is that confidence. It's also what your kids like. They want you to be confident. It's what your partner likes. She wants confidence. She wants a solid, you're the pillar, you're the foundation. She wants that. That's why women are attracted to bad boys, to all these bad guys out there, because they're solid. They're not at all, but they're perceived to be. They don't care what anyone thinks. They have the tattoos. They don't give a shit. They swear they're a bad boy. I do what I want. I don't care. That's very appealing. Until they realize that bad boy is actually wearing a mask and he's actually not confident at all. But that's usually too late. And that's why they get into the toxic relationships, and then they get into another one and another one and another one, because they're attracted to that confidence.
Yeah, absolutely. Conviction.
It's about embodying that confidence, though, and knowing that it's actually real. Taking the mask off. Being confident isn't saying, hey, this is who I am and I'm completely confident in me, when you're not. It's about saying, I'm confident in the fact that I'm not confident in the answer for this. I'm confident
vulnerability, authenticity.
Yeah. Saying these are my fears. These are my pains. These are my hurts. I don't have all the answers, but I'm solid in who I am, and I will find the answers, and I will walk that path with you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm strong enough to stand up and ask and to face my truth, to hold that mirror up in front of my face.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and so defining who you are, writing that script, and then acting into that.
Yeah, that's huge. And so many people feel like they know themselves, but they have never even met themselves. They have no
100%.
idea of where they truly are. They've got all these people around them. They've got programs and stigmas from society that have told them that they're at where they're at because of certain measuring sticks. They have no fucking idea. And it's such a liberating process to go through. And it's a consistent dynamic journey as well of self-discovery. It sort of doesn't ever end, but that starting process when you just first cross that threshold to take that leap inside and actually hold that mirror up, it's full on.
Yeah, 100%. And to answer your question a little bit further, for fathers to be a good dad, how can you be a great dad as a father? How can you be a great man when you're not a man yet? You're still a boy yourself. You haven't even defined what masculinity means to you, what being a man means to you. For me, it's what does being a man mean? Well, it's different for everybody. I'm not here to tell you what being a man is. I don't tell my clients that, hey, you have to follow this path, or hey, this is what you need to do to be a man. You have to grow a beard. You have to get big muscles. You have to shave your head. You don't have to do any of that to be a man. You don't have to hunt. You don't have to. If you want to wear a pink tutu and parade around, or a pink shirt, and that's masculine and that's being a man to you, then so be it.
Yeah.
But don't do it hiding away because you're scared of what people will think.
Yeah.
If you can wear that and put your shoulders back and walk tall and walk down the street and say, this is who I am and I'm going to own this, that's a man. I don't care what anybody says, because there's people that think they're masculine, that have the tattoos, that have the big muscles, that hunt, that do all these things, but they're hiding. So if that guy in the tutu can walk down that street with his shoulders back and head held high, that's more of a man every day of the week than this other guy that's 100%. Hiding behind a mask, that's doing these things because he thinks that's what he should do, because that's what society says he should do. That's what his mates do. You know, that goes out and, you know, sleazes on women and tries to put another notch on the belt and brag to his mates so that he can validate his masculinity or his manliness. That's not a man.
Yeah, 100%. And this is exactly why I wanted to pick your brain on here, because we are so much aligned. And like I said, when I told you about the MATY.B, was believe in yourself, express yourself openly, and evolve consciously. And really this whole journey is that journey of conscious evolution, figuring out who you are. And then so you can believe in yourself and express yourself openly. And that is what I'm hearing is your definition of being a man, is being able to truly believe in yourself, and after that you can open up and express yourself in whatever way that is for you.
Yeah, 100%. And I think men and women, human beings in general, get so caught up on, but I don't know who I am as a woman, or I don't know who I am as a man, and I don't, you know, it's going to take me time to define it, or I don't want to put something down on paper because what if it's wrong? It doesn't matter. It's right for right now. Put it down. It's going to evolve. Who I am as a man today is going to be different next week. And you know what? Yeah. I'd be pretty fucking pissed off if it wasn't, because if I'm the same as next week as I am this week, I haven't grown and evolved.
Yep.
So right. Your goals change every day. Everything changes. That's the growth mindset that says that we grow and we evolve every day. That's why we do gratitude, because the more grateful we get, we create more things to be grateful about. We expand our mind to the possibilities that are in the world. The more people we meet, the more chats like this we have, we learn new insights, and we'll pick up something that means we're now more, our mind's expanded beyond where it was before we had this chat. So we grow.
Absolutely. Yeah. And like I said, when you realize that you are the creator of what you've got and everything you've had and everything that you have and that you're going to have, it comes back to that understanding that everything is just energy. Everything's energy consistently and always dynamically changing and transforming. And we're no different. We're just energy constantly transforming. And to live under that illusion that we're trying to get some sort of sense of security and stability and place where nothing changes and everything's going to just be the same, it's ludicrous. And so when you can sort of tap into that understanding that, yeah, we're here to evolve and grow consistently, just learn from each other, from our mistakes, from our experiences, it sort of I find it freeing in a way, that because you're allowed to make mistakes. You've got permission to go up there and fuck up and just be creative, just play with life. And it is a lot more joyful and really easy to sort of bounce through life, through the good and the bad. And it's not so heavy and doesn't weigh so much on your emotions, get you to that anxious, depressed point as easy as what it used to before understanding that.
100%. And to take it to the energetic level like that is, if we get so caught up in our comfort zone, in what's normal, and we think, you know, we get stuck. When people are stuck, it's because they're not growing. They're stuck because they're holding on to what's comfortable. They're holding on to the past and the story of why they are where they are, instead of letting that go and in taking the chances and not being scared to fuck up, as you said. That takes energy. It takes, and the more energy you bring, the more energy you'll attract, and that will allow you to grow. It'll allow new experiences, and you'll attract other energetic beings around you that are vibrating at that level that will lift you up and allow you to grow and help you to grow and to move forward. But whilst ever we hold on to the past, whilst ever we stay comfortable and our vibration stays down here, we're going to attract exactly what we've always got, which is the environment that's around us now, which is keeping us exactly where we are. And then we say we're stuck.
100%. Yep. That's crazy. And it happens so quickly too. People,
Yeah.
yeah, people that are stuck, they've been stuck for X amount of time. But when you are able to work with someone, or when I've worked with people that have been able to have those shifts, it's on the day sometimes, let alone within days or weeks. It's so fucking quick when stuff does start changing. And yeah, it's just, it blows my mind still, even though I know there's no coincidences, and that you just sort of get to a point where you expect it to happen. It's still just, it's crazy how powerful it is.
Yeah, 100%. When you can lift somebody's energy through eliminating limiting beliefs, you know, I work with a lot of men around confidence, whether that be around women, whether it be going for a new job, whether it be just confidence in general, confidence to move forward in life. I won't mention names, but certain clients recently that we've worked through certain limiting beliefs, certain beliefs around. One client had a belief that there was something that he really wanted to do on his bucket list. And he said, "Oh, I couldn't do that." I said, "Okay." I said, "Why?" "Oh, well, I just don't think I could afford it." I said, "Okay, have you researched how much it cost?" "Well, no." I said, "Do you have any idea?" He's like, "No." And I said, "Okay, cool." I said, so I just happened to know what this goal of his would cost because I actually did it last year. And I said, "Okay." I said, "Well, what if I told you it cost X amount?" And he said, "Oh, wow, that cheap." He's wanted to do this for the last 5 years, but he said he can't afford it. When I told him how much it was and how easy it was, within 2 days, he booked it for next year, early next year, February next year. He held on to a belief so tightly that he had no reference point to whatsoever. He just had a thought in his head, which stopped him from moving forward. So just that one little lesson, and it's not about this being a huge thing. It's about the lesson within that. That allowed him to then go, "Well, shit. Wow, well, what else am I wrong about?" So I challenged him. I said, "What are the other limiting beliefs?" And we wrote them down. What are the beliefs that you hold on to that you believe are limiting you? What are some of the things you believe you can't do in your life? Let's get them down on paper. And he had a list this long. And we put a line through 95% of them, dispelled it straight away. All of a sudden, his confidence is through the roof. Then he's getting job offers. He's getting all these things coming into his life over the last month or so. And he's like, "Man, I don't know what's going on." I said, "Mate, you're vibrating up here. You're attracting opportunity.
Yeah.
The only issue we've got now is the shiny thing syndrome. We're grabbing at all these opportunities and going, no, hang on. We've defined a path for you. Let's just stay in your lane and stick on that path. This is exciting, but it's also distraction." So, and that's a whole nother story again. But when you can vibrate at that level because you get clear on what's real and what's not real in your life, what are the beliefs that are serving to move me forward and to hold me back? What's the story that I've held on to that's holding me where I am? When you can get clear on what all that is, the possibilities are endless. We're infinite possibility. So once you do that, it's about going, well, okay, here was my story. Here were all my limiting beliefs. Here were all my limitations. They're all somebody else's things that they've input in me through experiences and things I've been told and things I've learnt through, or the way I perceive things with a mindset that was the way it was back here. Somebody else has written that story. So let's take the pen back and let's write your own story. Let's take that pen back and write your own story about where you're moving forward from today, because the past doesn't exist. Tomorrow hasn't happened yet. All we have is now. So let's get down on paper where you want to go and let's start to act into that today.
Did you do much of a process around each of those things on that list, or was it just as easy as him writing it down and getting it out of him and seeing it there and just logically looking at it that it was enough for him to go, you know what, I'm asking the question, do you really think you can do that? And yeah, that's enough? Or
some of the things. So the things we went through on that was, to put it into context, we were talking about thing goals, a bucket list that he had. And once we ticked that one off to go, hey, we can, look how easy that is. We went through thing goals. So yes, it was easy as that was the process. And then he went through and he's like, wow, I can do all these things. That's amazing. We did some timeline therapy and some NLP on other limiting beliefs that he had for things that he genuinely just believed to be true. Things around getting away from that particular client, things around, when people have beliefs around their family or around the way that they were brought up or around the way that a father or a mother treated them or around the way that, and how that's impacted their life and now they have a belief around that, then that is generally a much deeper level, and that would be where, there would be a process of timeline therapy or NLP or clarity, or there's many breakthroughs depending on the person, depending on the client and where they're at and whether they're open to that at that time.
Do you work with or help people understand the masculine and feminine energy within them?
Yes,
and how to
definitely
play with that and use that?
Yeah,
That's been coming up a bit for me with people. Can you talk? Yeah, can you speak about, maybe just explain briefly to the people watching a bit of an understanding around masculine and feminine energy within themselves and others, and then
So again, I guess it comes back to what we were just speaking about. So the 4 pillars that I work with are head, heart, health, and habits. Every one of those areas will impact on that's your whole life, but every one of those areas will affect your masculinity or your femininity. So there's many, so with mindset, the way we focus, what we focus on, the way we learn to respond instead of react, all of these things affect whether we are more in our masculine or more in our feminine. Even when we move to health, when we look at that and we look at nutrition, for a male, if he's having flax seeds, if he's having, there's certain foods that will raise your estrogen levels. So in raising your estrogen levels, we become more feminine, and that takes away from masculine. So working on that pillar will impact that as well. Working on habits is all of those areas. Working on relationships, how we show up in our relationships, who we are to that relationship to self. Also, that plays into our masculine role or our feminine role. I guess it all comes back to that being confident in who you are and how you want to show up. Is, I guess, the easiest way I can explain it for the question you just asked.
It was with the masculine being the solid, finite, finished, sort of wanting an end, wanting something solid, being certain, these sorts of traits, and then the feminine being more so like the weather, the human mind, the creative flow of everything that comes in and out of existence.
Exactly. So to put that, and an analogy that I would use similar to that, I guess, is the male, he builds the foundations. He puts the foundations down of the house, he builds the walls, he puts a roof on, and the feminine's attracted to that. She wants a solid foundation. And she wants you to finish that house. She doesn't want you to just renovate and move on to the next one. She needs time to decorate. She wants to decorate. She wants to put pictures up. She wants to make it beautiful. And so she's creative, and she's free spirit, and she's emotional, and she wants her man to be solid and build those foundations for her. And she wants to know that she has that solid foundation there. She also wants to know that her man can ask for help, and that can be solid in where he stands and be strength through vulnerability. So I work with men a lot on that, and they're like, but vulnerability is weak. Vulnerability, if you're crying to your partner and telling her that life's hopeless and you don't know, what to do, and you're not sure whether you and her are going to last, and you don't know if you can be who you need to be for her, that's not what she needs to hear. She needs to hear that as a fear. She needs to hear, I've got fears, I've got pains, this is where they come from. I want to work through them with you, but I'm solid. And we're going to work this out together. And generally it will be her that will come to you and tell you all those fears, and that's okay, because the masculine won't be deterred by that. He won't be, he's solid in who he is. He knows what he brings to the table. He knows who he is as a man, and he stands solid in that. And that's what his woman needs him to be. Absolutely. Is that solid pillar. So I hope that makes sense. That was a little bit of a scattered explanation, but that's right. Yeah, fantastic. And what is one of the biggest shifts that you've seen
in the men in our culture recently, and something that you're really trying to implement?
The biggest shifts recently, I think it's with men and women, to be completely honest. I think just the personal development field and just awareness in general, awareness around everything we're talking about here, energy and spirituality. It used to be a topic that was hoo-woo, and it was, but now it's become very mainstream. I think it's gone two ways. I think a lot of people use it as an excuse.
In what way?
So to answer your question, is just the shift in consciousness. Is men actually starting to step up and say, you know what, we're not going to be repressed. We had and I'm very much, for the feminine and masculine. I've got a lot of women clients and men, but men are starting to say now, well, no, I won't be made feel like I'm just the provider and just bringing the paycheck in, and I'm just a paycheck for my kids and these sorts of things. I want to take part in this. I want to have more time with my kids. I want to have, more connection on that side of things. I'm starting to see that a hell of a lot more now. But back to where we were going before. So the energy and the spirituality and the following the heart and the centeredness and the awakenedness and the thing that I am seeing these days where people are using that as an excuse is a lot of people are going on this spiritual journey, which is phenomenal. I think that's great. But a lot of people are using it as an excuse. Oh, you know what? I'm just going to have a year off work, or, I'm struggling with finances, but I'm following my heart. I'm really, I've learnt to listen to my heart. They do one course or one seminar, and all of a sudden they're tuned in and they're completely awakened, and they're this spiritual being, and they're speaking on social media about it. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure there's people that are there, but we look at Buddhist monks, we look at these people that spend their whole life in solitude to find that. Yet we've got people that have watched one YouTube video or gone to and done a seminar, and they're all of a sudden awakened, and they're teaching their friends, and this is why this is why my relationship failed, or I got rid of this partner. This is why I'm not working. This is why all this stuff's happening. It's just because I know it's right for me, and I'm listening to my heart, and I'm a heart-centered person. I'm an awakened, and it's become a bit of a buzz, I guess, a buzzword. It's become a fad of everybody's awakened and I think it's gone a little bit too far. Yeah. It's become an excuse for what they really are, as lazy, and they're lost.
Yeah. Yeah, true. So what would you say to people in that situation?
It depends on the context of the person. So if it was a client of mine and I would look into what's the story behind it. What's the story behind where you are, and what's the story, where are you going? What do you believe is right for you, and where do you think that's coming from? Is that serving to move you forward? What are the struggles you've got in your life right now? And are these excuses? Because what you really want's uncomfortable. And at the moment it's comfortable to play small and to go, no, I'm just not working because of this, or I'm just not doing the hard work in my relationship because my heart told me it's okay to, this is the path. Or is it just because you're running away? So I guess it would be delving into what's real and what's not real, what's excuses and what's not excuses, and what's actually chatter in your mind and what's actually your intuition and your heart. So
going back again to figuring out who you are is really just uncovering that truth about who you are, really, isn't it?
Yeah, and have you done the work? A lot of times I'll have people I'll have people unsure who they are. I'll always ask the question, what are your goals? Where are you going? Who are you as a man? Who do you want to be? Who do you want as a partner? Maybe they're single and they want to meet a partner. Who do you want? Oh, I'm not sure. Okay, well, let's define that. And it comes back to the same with the person on that journey. Have you actually sat down and put in the work? Have you actually defined what it is that you want to be or who you want to be? Oh, but that's the thing. I'm not sure. I'm just on this journey to find that. Okay, show me the work you've done. Or are you just sitting in your lounge room, blissing out and, you know, meditating every day? Which is phenomenal. I meditate every day, but at some level, you've got to do the work.
You got to
You've
get
got
up
to put
after
in the
the
work.
meditation. Go
You've
do some
got to
shit.
take action. Yeah. What come to mind when you did your meditation? And how are you
Yeah.
going to implement that today?
Yeah.
How are you going to implement that into your life to, you know, and if it works, great. If it doesn't, pivot.
Yeah. But being action. I was listening to this book today, actually. I was reading a book today. And it was, I forget what one it was, but it was basically saying that this guy aims for 97% failure rate. He wants to be in such action and such consistent action that him and top performers aim for a 97% failure rate. So they're just consistently getting feedback and learning time and time and time again, just being in action, as much action as possible when they're not ready, when they're not perfect, nothing's set, but just staying in that consistent cycle. So yeah, they're constantly just getting feedback after feedback after feedback. And that's just, that's basically what the top performers aim for, is 90 to 97% failure rate, which is full on because most people are scared of it, fearful of it. They do everything they can to avoid it. They hide and they make all these excuses, and it's full on.
That's not the guy who created Alibaba?
No,
he said something similar. I'm sure it was him. He aims to fail because that's
Create or Hate, I think the book's called.
Okay. Yeah.
Create or Hate. Yeah. So this guy's basically just on this trip of, he wasn't doing fuck all, and he realized that he just needed to get stuff out. So he just writes a book and he releases it. He just reads it all in one audio. He just starts businesses and does all this stuff. He's just done so much stuff since he just got in this new wave of just being a creator, because he's like, you're either creating something or you're listening to the haters, the hater within yourself, the haters around you, and you're keeping yourself small and not acting. So just constantly just create. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, whether you fail or you succeed, as long as you're doing something or taking action, you're growing. You can only grow because there's only feedback and lessons. But whilst ever you sit there going, oh, when it comes to me, I'll have a go, or I'll take a shot at this, or I'll take a chance, or you're stagnant. When you're stagnant, you're dead. You're not growing.
That's it.
Hence, you're stuck.
100%. Yeah, exactly right.
So there's got to be movement.
Yeah, I was going to say, can you share what you're up to this year, or 2019 with everyone, so they know?
2019. Okay, so I'm working on this at the moment. There will be I'm working on copy. I'm not an expert at copy, so but you can't be an expert at something you've never done. So I'm putting the copy together at the moment. Exactly, yes. So next year I will be doing, don't hold me to this name, it's not complete yet either, but Men with Purpose in a Circle. So it will be a 12-month commitment. Basically, there'll be 20 men per mastermind, and there'll be four masterminds a year, 2-day masterminds for these men, entrepreneurs. Basically, entrepreneurs that have got some level of success in business, but not in their life. They've got a level of success in business. Maybe they're an entrepreneur, maybe a business owner, maybe a corporate. They've got level of success in their business or perceived success, but every other area of their life, they just don't feel like they're hitting the mark. Maybe they don't have the connection with their family they want. Maybe they don't have the connection with their kids. They're not getting, the intimacy and the connection in their relationship. They want more sex. They want more, better health. Their health and their body's not where they want it to be. They don't have the connection with their friends anymore. They don't have the confidence to step out of their bubble that they put themselves in, creating their business or on this venture, this, one-sided view of where they're going to earn an amount of money. They've lost the confidence to step away from that. And what generally happens there is they lose confidence in all these other areas. They're not the man in the house anymore. They don't have the relationship they want. They haven't got the connection with their kids. They've lost contact with their friends. So they step into their business and they say, well, I'm just working on my business. I'm putting my head down. And they completely consume themselves with their business because they get validation there because of the success. So what this is about, it's about helping these men to get their life back, take their power back, and define who they want to be as a man, to get that confidence back. And basically a 12-month journey where we design the life for them, design the blueprint for who they want to show up as in life, in their health, in their well-being, their relationships, their mindset. And over a 12-month period, there'll be 4 2-day masterminds. There'll be 1 3-day retreat in Bali, 3.5-day retreat in Bali. There'll be coaching every month, 1-to-1. There'll be a lot of commitment. There'll be a lot of I've lost words. Accountability. So accountability is everything, as you know, with coaching. So a lot of people go out and they do courses for 3 days or they read a book, but the one part that's missing is that accountability. So we're building a community of men, of like-minded men that all want to grow together, that want to succeed together, that are going to hold each other accountable, that are going to cheer each other on, and you're going to have that brotherhood for 12 months to get you to the process and through the process and to the point in your life where you want to be and where you deserve to be and where you're living the potential that you really have inside you as a man.
Fantastic. I love it.
That's very scattered, obviously, because I'm still putting it together.
But that's all right.
Basically what it looks like.
Come across clearly.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah. And where can the guys that aren't connected with you find you online to connect?
Facebook, obviously, Craig Cassidy.
Yep.
On Instagram, at Craig Cassidy _ at the end. Some little guy with one picture's got my actual name, so I can't get that one. And then my website is craigcassidy.co.
Fantastic.
Awesome, so yeah, guys, jump over to Instagram and chat. Send me a message, say good day. I spend probably most time on Instagram, more so than Facebook and other places. So
yeah, you do have some awesome content there as well that sort of just gets the mind thinking and the heart racing as well. So that's really awesome. Go check out
Thanks, brother.
Instagram. Any last message you'd like to leave people on or something you want to put out there just to wrap it up?
Man, I guess a takeaway. Let's leave a takeaway for all the men and women out there in defining who you are. Each morning when you wake up, everyone speaks about gratitude. I'm a huge fan of gratitude. Before your feet hit the floor, 3 things you're grateful for, and make sure you feel into it. Too many people, they just think of 3 things and it just becomes a habit of, I've got to think of 3 things. You've actually got to feel it and feel into that. That's not the takeaway. Yeah. So definitely do that. Then I want you to get in the mirror, in the bathroom. I want you to look in that mirror and I want you to ask yourself, what needs to die inside of me today to be the person that I know that I can be? And once you decide what that is, who am I showing up as today? Do that every single day and walk into every day acting into the role that you want to play. How do you want to show up for your friends, for your loved ones? How do you want to show up for your work colleagues? Decide every morning how you're showing up. Consciously make a decision. This is who I'm going to show up as today. Do that every day and you'll change your life.
That'll have a massive, massive impact. Cool. Brother, thank you so much for joining me. Always a pleasure.
Thank you, brother. Very good.
Look forward to seeing you when we get up to Goldie soon.
Yes, very cool.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. Enjoy your night. Speak soon.
Thanks, guys.